So Jesse Minter told us at his introductory press conference that he's calling the defensive plays. So my question, Ed Norris, is what do you think? What do you think? Because we weren't told yet. What do you think Anthony Weaver's role will be with this team if he's not a play caller?
I think to make sure the position players are getting coached up properly. I think he's going to come up with a defensive scheme of what he'd like to, what his vision of the defense will be. Select the personnel for different positions. Draw up the things that. I mean, I'm assuming when Minter's going to call the plays, he's got a lot to do now. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he's going to have the time to do what defensive coordinators do by designing different blitz packages and coverages and going over the minutia that you have to go over with with everything, every position, every body, every possible scenario you face when they come out of the huddle. I just think he's going to be doing the down and distance calls.
You think who's Minter is?
Yeah,
I think Minter wants to be the defensive version of Sean Payton and Andy Reid. I think that's what he wants to be.
It's hard to let go.
Whether he can be or not.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I got to be honest. Ed, if I was a coach and I became a head coach on one of those sides of the football, I would hold on to that duty as a head coach.
Me too. Yeah.
I would. I don't fault head coaches for doing it. I commend them when they don't do it. I certainly would expect he will definitely insert himself if he sees something he doesn't like or something he just doesn't think is going to work or has a better idea. But I think he's going to have to let Weaver do his job.
Well,
what do you think, Jeremy?
I mean, I think this is still going to be, when you look at it, it's going to be the defense that the head coach wants, and whether or not Weaver buys into that. The question I would have is when you look at Weaver, I think his vision is he wants to become a head coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking at these job opportunities that are out there, which one's the best chance for you to get somewhere? You're going with a defensive-minded head coach. And granted, we could sit here and talk about play calling, but I'm sure they're going to sit down. And if anybody's listening to Minter, it sounds like he's willing to listen to what anybody has to say. But ultimately, like Bishotti said, it's going to be his decision and what happens moving forward. I think Anthony Weaver picked the best situation for him to be able to turn around a unit and maybe get a new job, a head coaching job in the next couple of years.
So you think if the unit turns around, no one would scrutinize and say he didn't call the plays, he didn't do
I don't
this?
think so. Because, again, we went out and we got Declan Doyle from the Bears, and it's like the scrutiny was, hey, he hasn't called any plays, but that didn't stop them from signing him.
Here's the difference. He's going from not calling any plays to OC calling plays. Mm-hmm. We're asking the guy to go from not calling plays to head coach.
But the only thing I'm saying is he went from not calling plays to getting the offensive coordinator job. That even if you're successful and you're not the guy calling plays, teams are going to still come kick the tires on you. How many times did we hear passing game coordinator for teams that were getting called in for head coaching gigs? So I think some teams are willing to overlook that, but I do think it's a chance for him to jump off. And it was kind of funny when we started talking about it, I didn't even think about what Joe sent back. The fact that he's not going to be able to,
Jump off for who?
What are you talking about?
No, my God.
Yeah. So when Joe brought up the fact that, he's not going to get to call plays, I didn't look at it initially as a downgrade that he took a job that he didn't want to take. I thought this was a job that he would have picked had he not got a head coaching job.
I'm with Joe. I think it's a little peculiar that you go from being a play caller to not being a play caller. And I think personally he probably needs to get back in the play calling role somewhere before he becomes a head coach. Is it necessary? Maybe not. But I bet that's a ding against him when he's interviewing for that next head coaching job.
I just don't know how it is if there's other guys that are getting jobs that haven't. Like Jim Caldwell got a head coaching job, and the first year he ever called offensive plays was here, and this team was going to fire him.
Yeah.
They were going to fire him, and then the Lions were like,
wanted him.
Can we interview him? We're like, hell yeah. Where do you want us to drop him off?
Yeah.
I just think when teams are, I don't want to say desperate, look at how many coaching jobs opened up this year. Was it 10 or 11
10.
when all was said?
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's 10.
The third of the league.
The most ever in the history of the National Football League, I think I read.
And again, Rob may be right.
I didn't know that, but it sure seemed like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there were, if you looked at defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator openings as well, some of it opening up because guys were leaving to take head coaching jobs. Other teams just cleaned house.
And I think the difference for Jim Caldwell, he got the job for the Lions, but he had been a head coach before the Ravens. So it's a job that he held before. I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't hold him back because I think Anthony Weaver could be possibly a good head coach somewhere one day. I just hope this doesn't hold him back. Somebody scrutinized him and said, well, he wasn't a play caller with the Baltimore Ravens. Jesse Minter turned that defense around, not Weaver. 410-583-1057, that's the number. Baltimore's Big Bad Morning Show on the Fan. What do you think would be his greatest contribution to the defense?
Anthony Weaver? I mean, look, I think he's a guy that obviously when you look at playing this game and the level he played it at, the fact that he was here before, I think there's some respect factor there. It wasn't like he was some has-been player or some other guy. You're coming in, and I think players are going to listen to you. And look, we think about the age gap being an issue sometimes. I think sometimes it's easier to relate to these guys when you're a little bit younger. And, I mean, it could go either way, but I still think Anthony Weaver is one of those guys that his voice will warrant attention in the locker room.
I'm going to tell you what I think. You said, Ed, the greatest contribution to the defense for Jesse Minter was what? DB? What he does for the secondary?
Prioritizes, yeah.
I think he just hired a guy that helps the front.
Yeah.
Helps that front seven. I think he just hired that guy. I think they work in concert. They specialize in two different things. And I think it was an absolutely brilliant move to hire a guy who knows that front end.
He does.
Because I know back here. This is what I do. I thought it was a brilliant hire, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, you think you're right. But it's exactly what's needed because, he said Minter was known as a secondary first guy, and Weaver was a linebacker and knows, he knows they're the front seven, so it's a perfect match. And I think that's what I mean. I think he's going to coach those guys up and help with the pass rush and the defensive, all the problems they've had. And they've had quite a few in the middle because we used to have really incredible linebackers. And Roquan's been good, but not like he was, first got here.
There is something interesting, and again, I don't know if this is something factual that's happening, but I saw somebody bring it up. I love the fact that he's going out and he's not just grabbing his guys. Hey, he's going out and he's
checking resumes.
Yes, he's taking innovative people that have a similar mindset to him and similar goals.
I've noticed that too.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
And again, we'll see if it all comes to fruition once they start playing, but you got to admit, listening to him talk and listening to Albie talk on the Orioles side, it's like, I feel kind of good about the direction we're going in.
See, I don't know. Let's look back and let's look at the play calling situation again. I don't know what not calling plays is going to do for Anthony Weaver, but I don't know what Jesse Minter did to convince him to take the role. Because again, it is I think it's a brilliant hire. You have the play caller that knows the secondary, and you have the defensive coordinator who was a defensive end in the National Football League for 7 years. You have the perfect pair to turn this defense around. Do you think they keep Chuck Smith?
I mean, I think it would be good to keep him. He got a lot of credit for the play of the pass rushers, linebackers at times, and
because you can't tell me there's no development. Because I'm gonna ask you this again: what did Adafi Owe do when he left?
He sacked.
So there was some player development there.
Yeah.
Because Adafi Owe was known as a guy with no pass rushing moves when he was drafted. Am I right? Now all of a sudden he goes to the Chargers and he has moves. Yeah, he got in a scheme where he wasn't slowed down. I'd be interested to see what they do with Chuck Smith.